Hello everyone and welcome to the Downton Index. And on today's discussion video, I'm going to be giving you my wish list, if you like. My top 5 characters I would like to see in the new Jump Forces game. Now if you haven't seen or heard of what Jump Forces is, it's a new PlayStation 4 game that's fighting based, that has a lot of Shonen Jump characters in it. Now, to clarify, there is a lot of characters that have already been confirmed for this game. I'll put a list of those characters in the description, so check that out whenever you feel like it. But to keep this list kind of fresh and a bit new, I'm only going to be listing characters that I haven't actually seen appear in many games before. So big mainstream characters like Toriko and other characters like that won't be featured on this list. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's get started. So to start off, the 2 characters that I want to basically say I would like to have in the game would be Yuma and Osamu. These characters are from the manga known as World Trigger. Now, World Trigger has just come back after a 2-year hiatus, and is now back in Shonen Jump, but on a monthly basis. When reading this manga, you get to see a lot of different range of weapons, ranging from long range and close range. Weapons like Asteroid and Scorpion, triggers like blades, shields, thrusters. There's many different combinations in which they can add into this game that they can add to their character that would make the game really enjoyable and more versatile. As well as the fact is, we haven't actually seen a game with World Trigger characters in it, and where it's just come back off a 2-year break, new Shonen Jump subscribers or readers wouldn't actually know a lot about World Trigger, and this would be a great way to reintroduce them to the characters of World Trigger. And it'll bring back some fans that liked the series before it went on its 2-year break. And if you're looking at awakening powers, these being powers that you get when you're fighting that make a character stronger, for example, a Super Saiyan, or Naruto's Sage Mode, or Kyuubi Mode, Luffy's Gear 4th, so anything like that, you could possibly give Yuma the black trigger that he owns. So have your character as Yuma playing with a normal trigger and then getting the black trigger when in Awakening. With Osamu, it's a bit difficult. You could possibly have it so that he just gets more focused and more serious. So there's a lot you can play around with those 2 characters. But hey, it doesn't have to be those characters. It could be any character from World Trigger. It could be Chika, it could be Jin, it can be Hughes. It could be anyone from the World Trigger series. I'd just love to see a game of World Trigger, but if we don't get that, then I just want some characters from World Trigger in this game. So I'll move on to my second choice. Now, this manga has recently ended, and by recently I mean within the last year, I think. And that is Korra Sensei and Nagisa. These 2 being from Assassination Classrooms. Now, people might think it's a bit too early to be reintroducing himself back into Assassination Classrooms with the sad ending that the manga got. However, these 2 characters will bring a nice quirkiness to the game that, from the character roster that I've seen, it kind of lacks a little bit. And with the graphics, I can totally see it working. So for example, Korra Sensei is more of a comedic sort of gag character, and the series itself is based more comedy. So you could have Korra Sensei doing like loads of different things. Like his range attacks, you could have his tentacles flying, and close-up attacks you could just have him hugging or grabbing however you like. As to the awakenings of both the characters and their power-ups, Korra Sensei, you can have his face change colour, so it go from red or black or white, whichever colour you basically feel would be necessary. They might even be able to add the customization of that. And with Nagisa, it'll probably have to be sort of like the snake aura that he gets. If you've seen the series, you understand what I mean. He gets some more of an intense vibe, where he just focuses on his target and only his target. However, if you don't want Nagisa to be in Korra Sensei, you can change that character out for being like Karma, Kayano, you can have Kurasama, you can have many different characters. And I think the only game we had with Assassination Classrooms was the DS game, which never got released out of Japan, I think. So it'd be nice to see him. Oh, and I think Korra Sensei was in J-Star Victory. I'm not 100% certain on that though. But anyway, let's move on to my third choice. So my third choice is going to be more villainous. And those two villains are going to be the King of Chimera Ants and Pito. But these two being from Hunter x Hunter. Now, this game does have quite a few Hunter x Hunter characters already. Those being Killua, Kurapika, Gon and Hisoka. However, the King and Pito are great characters respectively in their own series. They're good villains, so they'll work well with the storyline of this game. As well as the fact is, they'll be cool to see. This graphic of that the game's going to have will just look really nice for those two characters. And Pito's also got the really creepy doll sort of ability, so that'll be nice to kind of integrate into the game, add a bit of a more eerie factor. And the King is just a boss, both in the anime and in pretty much anything else that he's appeared in. He's overpowered, and he can possibly take down most of the heroes in Shonen Jump. So that's all I've really got to say for those two characters. Awakening again, I wouldn't really know how you would integrate that. I guess the King would get more of a sinister aura, and Pito would get like a Nen enhancement. I'm not quite sure. Those two, they'd be cool to see, but I wouldn't know how you would put their moveset in. Okay, so that was the third. So now let's move on to my fourth. And I have never seen these characters in any games whatsoever. Well, outside of Japan, obviously. So these two characters, Yu and Shinoa, both being from Zero for the End. I think these would be two great characters to actually implement into a game, regardless of whether it's Jump Forces or into their own game in general. Now, understandably, there isn't a lot of characters in Zero for the End that they can make a full game out of. So that's probably why they haven't done that already. But with this game, just adding in a few characters, I think, would be really cool. And again, movesets. You've got Shinoa being close range with her scythe, and you've got Yu being pretty much close range, but mid-range, because he can project out his sword slashes, and he can fight up close with his sword. And if you want to think about an awakening, Shinoa could get hers by having a slight demon possession, getting a mark on her face like she does in the anime. And Yu could get his King of Salt transformation, or whatever they call it now. Is demon possession? I don't know. He blows on the trumpet and gets that power. And they've shown that they can put in that sinister transformation because they've given it to Asta in the game already with his anti-magic form. Right. Now, one last thing about the Shinoa and Yu thing is that they're giving you character customization. And yes, it can apply for all the characters I've said, but I'd love to have my personal player character dressed up in one of the outfits that they've got in Zero at the End. I think it's really cool. And again, yeah, you can possibly customize with any of the characters I've said. I wouldn't really think a Korra Sensei head would be very practical though, but hey, if you like that sort of stuff. So that's my number 4 pick. Now number 5 being the last one, so ending this list, I am going to have to add some Ruby characters into this game. Now the reason being is Ruby has just been added into Shonen Jump, and not a lot of people probably know that. It's only hardcore Ruby fans that would know this. So, if they add in a game with lots of characters that people already know from Shonen Jump, and add in Ruby, Weiss, or Blake, or Yang, or Jean, Pyrrha, anyone like that, then they can help raise awareness that the new Ruby manga exists in Shonen Jump. As well as the fact is, you can combination pretty well with most of the characters, because each character has a special ability, so they follow suit with most Shonen Jump themes. The character designs are great as well, so you can add different character customizations, depending if you're male or female. As well as the fact is, I just think like the weapons and unique ability of every character within the show could reflect well onto the games themselves. But now I'm talking about a list of characters, so let's focus on Ruby and Weiss for this, simply because they're a pair in the series and this game comes in twos most of the time when announcing characters. Okay, so both characters will probably be sort of close range, with Weiss dabbling a little bit into mid-range territory in terms of attack. You've got cool customized weapons, and if you're looking at an awakening sort of ability and power, you could possibly have, I think it'd probably be more of a concentrational boost, but if you wanted to go a bit deeper, you could have a weapon change. Like for example, you could have Ruby attacking with a scythe most of the time, but then when she gets serious and does the awakening ability within the game, you can have a weapon change into the gun form, the sniper. That'd be pretty cool. Or Silver Eyes activate. But since there's no Grom in the game, I don't know how that would work without changing the lore of the actual story itself. But it would be a great way for the game developers, Shonen Jump itself, to actually advertise the new series being added to Jump. Now, I'm going to end the video off just here. So this has been my top 5 lists. It's not been in any particular order. It's just 5 characters / character pairings that I want to see in Jump Forces before or after the game has been released. Now, I'm going to open up the floor to you guys down in the comments below. Let me know down below, who are your characters that you haven't seen announced yet that you want to see? Because there are a lot more characters out there that would be pretty cool. Just to say a few, I would probably say Emma from Promised Neverland. You could have Shitoge from Nisekoi. I guess Hinata would be pretty cool. You could just have like Kageyama just run in and spike him, set the ball, and Hinata just spikes it at the opponent. Pretty wacky, but pretty cool. There's a lot more characters out there within Jump that would be a good addition to this. Toriko for one. They can bring back Toriko and have him fight alongside the heroes. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just a nice little discussion / top 5 video. But other than that, like the video if you did, give it a thumbs up, really helps me out. Or subscribe for more anime related content. But I'll catch you later. Bye for now, guys.